And how much, remind me how much time I have.
I would say you have about 20, 25.
Okay, great. I'm setting a little timer. Perfect. And can I share? Okay, let's see if that gets me there. Let's host. There we go. I'm gonna hear my hold music while I find my presentation. Okay, peeps, we are not going to be looking at these slides long, but I figure we just need a little grounding. So let me do slideshow. Okay, here we are. We are creating your soul-inspired vision in less than 20 minutes. This kind of goes to my old corporate energy of like, okay, let's get this done. We're going to start this conversation. We're going to tune in a little bit to our soul and see what she has to say to us about our vision. And I'm going to give you kind of some steps that you can follow. These slides are available, so if you want them, just ping me on Facebook. I'm happy to send them to you because there is some content here that we will not be able to go over in detail. But let me see why this is not working. There we go. So a vision is not just a picture of what could be. It's an appeal to our better selves, I would say our higher selves, our soul selves, and it's a call to become something more. So when you think of vision, you know, often in the business context, people are thinking about achievement and accomplishment and growth, and like, it feels very masculine, like go get it. But for me, vision really is about setting a time with, setting an agenda with your soul. What is it that who do I want to be? Right? That's the most important question here. So we're going to cover what is it and why do you need one, the process that I use, and then how to put it into action. The action part's probably not going to be a lot of detail today because I'd rather spend a lot of time on just getting you in touch with that inner voice. So you are a creator. I am in the right place. I heard so many people talk about their spiritual source, the fact that they are creators in the world. So I'm in the right place. This is not something this is no surprise to you. You are a creator. So the question is, what are you creating? And without a vision, you really are inviting a future of the old patterns and energy, right? That default energy, the stuff that the status quo. When you don't have a vision, a container for your life, you kind of fall back into old patterns. And that's fine, unless you really do have a vision of more. So in order to create a life you love, you must first clearly identify who you want to be next. This is not about the things that you want, though those are fun details. This is about who you are stepping into, who are you becoming, because that's the dreaming through you, right? And you're connecting yourself to that vision. So then you have to take action toward becoming that person. You can't just write it down. Then it becomes like, okay, how do I be that person today? So not putting it off. So what is and what is not a vision? I just wanted this to be clear since we've all kind of been indoctrinated in sort of business speak of vision. What it's not is it's not about goals and accomplishments and a big wish list of stuff and your ego, you know, wanting to get it on, Oprah's book list or whatever that is. It's not a one and done. You don't do it once and then it sits on the shelf, and it's not the exact requirements, right? So we all know that in manifesting, we can be very detailed and be very specific, but we also have to really let go of all that specificity. As much as it helps us, it's also, we need to allow for that or even better, because our creator energy is so talented and prolific that it has even better ideas than we do. So we just have to put something out there as kind of a proxy and then let that beautiful spirit fill in all those details. So that's who you're becoming, the dream that's streaming through you. It's soul inspired. You update it all the time. I update my vision at least once a week because I see something or I hear something and I'm like, oh, that is an excellent detail. I want to have that in who I'm becoming. That's a great, environment for that person I want to be. So always specific, but allows for even better. Let me find my thing. So how to begin the process. We're going to do this in community. So let me just run through this list, but we're going to pick an area in your life and we're going to ask ourselves, what would I love? And then the typical, and I have all of these categories in my vision. There's a self bucket, there's a career bucket, there's relationships, there's time freedom and financial freedom. You can have whatever bucket you like, but those are the buckets I tend to really cultivate because it covers everything that I care about. You're going to start with, it's 3 years from now. We picked 3 years because we always overestimate what we can do in 1 year and we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. So 3 years is a wonderful horizon of just, it's a little out there, but it's not totally like 5 years out there. So it's 3 years and everything has worked out beyond your expectations. What conversation are you having? And so you like literally imagine you talking to a friend, to me, to whomever, saying, hey, I'm so excited. I now blah, blah, blah. So that's what we're going to practice today. Tell snapshots, like really create little vignettes, stories. What are you hearing? What kind of laughter? Do you feel the sun on your face? These are all very sensory. And that's really important because it brings your imagination, really empowers your imagination to bring this future you even closer. And I know some of us are not visualizers. Some people don't even have the visual skill, but they can hear things, they can sense things, they can know things. So don't let not having a visual image stop you. There's lots of ways to create that sensory experience. And then it should light you up. Like you are so excited to update this person on what's been up for you and how amazing everything is. This should make you smile. When I was in a breakout group, we talked about having a vision that might feel pretty big. And there's a little bit of what I call like nervous system overrun. You're like, okay, if I'm going to have $1 million business, I love that. And I think I'm going to freak out. Like, I don't know how to be that person right now. So know that numbers are important. And when you say a number that makes your nervous system shut down, that's an excellent opportunity for invitation and curiosity about what are some beliefs around my value, my time freedom, like what's getting in there that's making you feel, I don't know, I really can't say $1 million. I should say $1 million. They told me to say $1 million. I don't know if I like $1 million. Yeah. Those are fun conversations. So just notice if those kind of details are coming up, write them down so that you can have a conversation about it with your soul. So this is your turn. All right. So I'm going to invite us all to stop sharing. So I want to see your faces. I'm going to invite us all to work on the same vision together. Now, if there's one that's calling your name and you really want to pursue it, go ahead. But for me, since it's February and it's all about our relationship with ourselves and love and self-love, let's just pour into a vision of our relationship with ourselves. What would that look like? So again, take a deep breath, mostly for me, 3 deep breaths. Just really center in. Last one. All right. So there you are. You have a thriving relationship. It's 3 years from now, and we meet up. Oh my gosh. The last time I saw you was at LPL. I can't believe it's been so long. How are you? And you say, I am doing amazing. And here's what that looks like. And it comes down to your self-love. Maybe it's a practice you're doing. Maybe it's how you feel about yourself. Maybe it's just a rhythm that you have in your day. There's something about your connection to self, and spirit and soul and body and health that is just amazing. So I'm going to shut up while you write down some notes. And just write down all the things that come to you. As you're writing, I'm just going to pop in a few more questions. I call these extra mile questions. So where does this vision want to grow me? Right? What am I learning or doing or have learned, have done that I think, wow, I never saw myself go there. That feels so good. So there's always just a little bit of an edge with a great vision.
Can you repeat that, Meredith?
Yeah, like the way to think about it is, it's not just you as you are status quo 3 years from now. It's like, oh, I've overcome that one thing. I've solved that question I had. I've healed that thing. I've got that skill that I have always wanted. So there's always a more feeling to it. There's a rhythm to it. I really want you to get into like, what is a rhythm, especially around self-care, spiritual connection, maybe it's time, pause, space for yourself. You know, what does that rhythm look like? Is it daily, weekly? Do you go on trips once a year? And then the last one is a real tricky one. I still see myself inserting these. So once you're done with your vision, one of the things you should look for is to remove references to some old identities. So doubts or limitations that you've had. So for me, you know, I dropped 20 pounds of weight, right? Probably not great for a vision because it's only going to keep me stuck in that old energy around not being okay. So instead, my body feels radiant. I look glorious. I wear the coolest clothes. I don't know, whatever that is. So old limitations, doubts, they're magically resolved. They don't even have to be there. But you might want to mine those first because they are here now. So what would those look like once they're transformed? I like to go there. Maybe take another minute and jot down whatever's coming up, and I really want to have time to share. You guys are reveling. Wow, what's that word, Liz? Help me out. This feels
Reveling.
good. Reveling,
Yes.
reveling. Doesn't this feel good? Don't you want to do this all the time?
Yes.
Okay. So I know I had to cut you off. We have a little bit of time together, but sometimes the best way to learn stuff is to see how it's done and get some feedback and have others witness it. So does anybody feel brave enough to share what they wrote? Yay, we got Liz.
Yeah, I'd love to share that. I love what you said about remove reference to old identities, because one thing I wrote was to not feel guilty being by myself, which is like, say, it's like dumping on, it's, you know, that's exactly
it's the old
it.
you.
So
Yeah.
and it was challenging for me to figure out, how do I write that? You know, so I
How
I
did
wrote,
you write it?
I don't know. I wrote to enjoy and rest into expansive time on my. which is pushing an edge for me of being okay with having a day to myself and not feeling like I have to be with somebody else.
Yes, yes. So read that sentence again.
Feels funny to read it even. To enjoy and rest into expansive time
Mm,
by myself.
mm, nice. And what's the rhythm of that expansive time for yourself? 3 years. It's been 3 years. You've figured a lot out. You've got lots of support. You've got this amazing vision.
Yeah, it feels edgy to me right now, but I think it will feel much more grounded and in my body.
Mhm.
Years.
Beautiful. Is it a just a day off, or is it a spiritual retreat for yourself? Every month, every quarter,
It's every week.
every week?
Every week, every day, having time by myself.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
I think we all relate to that edge. Can anyone else share? Yes, please, Erica.
So it's really great timing on this. My kids all just went back to school after being homeschooled for the last 2 years.
moly.
And my youngest was never in school, so I'm like new life right now. Anyway, I see myself in 3 years having once a month having a day. This last year I've been in a trauma healing program 1 weekend a month, and I'd like to carry that at least 1 day a month forward for myself to really do deep nourishment, and then finding a flow of my practice, my morning practice and things like that, but also weekly really having a daytime, because now that I have all this time,
so day rhythm.
Yeah, like one day a week to really kind of reconnect. And the piece that really felt alive for me is being a creative artist, like with my own personal expression, my soul expression, my physical expression, in writing and creating, and really like tapping into that part of me. Feels like what's coming through and really alive.
Oh, awesome. I can't improve that at all. That felt very solid and exciting. I felt the rhythm in it, and it was specific. And this earned something better. I love that. Any other shares? Otherwise, we'll just go to our, please, Kelly.
So the big one for me was, what are you creating? And I think for me, the biggest obstacle I've had is that trying to create who I am, and what I do as a business, because the word business doesn't fit with who I am, what I do and what I share. So realizing in this moment, as I sat with it, that releasing the word business and understanding that I am creating a feeling, I'm creating an understanding, I'm creating conscious connections. I'm creating awareness. Remove the word business and allow it to flow so much more freely. And it opened up all of these unbelievable insights of why, like, all of the business practices have never really worked for me when it comes to sales funnels and email lists and all this other things, because it wasn't about building a business for me. It's about building a life. It's about building the conscious awareness of being. Does that make sense?
Oh God, it makes so much sense. Who felt that? Yeah, I think we felt you, Kelly. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And go ahead.
I think Kelly could add the word community. You're building community.
Conversation. Community.
Instead of business.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, you guys. I'm going to just take us home. We went through the extra mile. This is in the slide. If you want a copy, let me know. We shared. So now just putting vision into action, because now you just did some incredible mining. And so now what do you do with all those jewels? Who you are being in your vision is how you can create. So it really is tuning into who is that person and how can I create that person now? So So you're going to translate that every day into your calendar, into your conversations. You're going to read and update your vision weekly as you get inspired. You're like, oh, that's a beautiful way to say something. Or, oh, I love her life. I saw a woman the other day. I was like, she was in her 60s and she had just had an amazing career. And I was like, oh, I love her life. That feels so good to me. Like looking back, I'd love to have those things also. So look for inspiration and make sure you tune into your vision all the time. And then there's a masculine structure that we want to put on our vision, which is milestones, right? So structure supports feminine creativity. So the milestones, what happens 6 months from now or 1 year from now, because you just talked about what your 3-year vision is. And so how can you kind of give it some structure? And what actions can you take today to meet those milestones? So that's an interesting process. Like what conversations, what events, what, depending if it's maybe it's self-care, what do I need a different nourishment program? Recognize daily the changes you're making. So I think there's 3 catalysts to creator energy, and that is this vision, what you're doing. There's appreciation, and then there's feeling proud and celebrating. And if you can do all 3 every day in some small way, you are using your highest vibration self to create what's next for you. So recognizing daily little tiny changes that you've made to be your future self, and you feel really proud of it. This is not where you diminish, like, well, that was easy, or well, everyone does that, or this is where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just decided not to have that conversation and I went for a walk instead. Woo, woo. Like, I'm amazing. This is exactly the person that I want to be in my future self, that honors her needs above others, right? So celebrate those small wins. And then, this is a big one. Just notice all the places where you struggle. Like, vision creation to me is a great barometer of limiting beliefs, because every time I say something, I either think it's true or it's not true, and I circle the stuff that I don't believe. And those are the things I work with my coach to start getting support so that I can really embody the person I want to be. And from there, I did want to invite you to my energy mastermind. It's rolling out in April, and it has a Sedona retreat, which is very exciting. But if any of you got started on a vision and you want to have a little workshop or a little tweak, I am happy to give you a strategy session. Just ping me and I'll send you my link for my calendar. It would be absolutely free as a Ladies Power Lunch member. And feel free to connect with me. I would love to talk to you more. So let me stop the share. Okay. That's it, Miss